Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Greg Cooper, and this is the PYB Show. Tonight's show, or this morning's show, which depending on where you are, is going to be a little bit different. Martin is in Phoenix. He's been at the Infusionsoft conference there. And so tonight we're going to have just a kind of round the table discussion. The subject is, how has Google Plus helped your business? And as guests this evening we have Anna Hoffman and Carrie-Anne Foster, Leila Martin. Is it Leila or Leila? I get that right next time.
It's Leila.
It's Leila. Sorry, Leila.
That's
I should know that by now. Yeah.
That's okay.
And Murray Stovall, and all incredibly competently organised by Travis Taylor, who's a technician and video guy. So to kick off the discussion, we're going to just share amongst ourselves and learn a little bit about the different businesses that people have and how specifically Google Plus has been of benefit and helped those businesses to grow. I wonder perhaps if I could come to Carrie in a moment, Carrie-Anne. And Carrie-Anne, you're in social media, that's your area.
Yeah, that's correct, Greg.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in Google Plus, and how has it impacted on your business?
Well, I got involved with Google Plus about, I would say, just over a year ago, and it was my second bout. The first time was when Google Plus was just starting up, and it was by invite only, and it was incredibly confusing. You know, coming over from Facebook and just jumping into a completely different platform. I'll be honest, right off the bat, I didn't like it. I maybe spent 2 or 3 days, and then I left. And then, like I said, just over a year ago, I came back in, and it's been really good. I find that the engagement is phenomenal. It takes time. It took me some time to get my engagement levels up, but once I did, it was, you know, it's been an excellent experience.
And do you encourage your clients to take Google Plus on board? What's your experience of working with clients in Google Plus?
Most of my clients are fairly uneasy about Google Plus. They experienced the same thing I did when they first came onto it. You know, it's a different platform. They're not sure how to, you know, quite use it. So what I do, most of my clients are bloggers. And so what I do is I talk to them and you know, show them my experience on Google Plus, and it's for me, I try and get my bloggers to be on Google Plus as soon as they can, because you know, with blog posts being up, coming up in search results on Google, it's a phenomenal tool to be using on that platform, rather than just on Facebook, where the settings are pretty much private. Facebook posts don't show up in search as a general rule. So for me, it's a no-brainer for me to direct my clients to go onto Google+.
I was looking at your website earlier on, and one of the things that really struck me was the size of your images. They really leap out at you. You know, is that something that you learned from Google+, or is that something you've applied from your website and used on Google+, the importance of images there?
I actually think it was something I picked up from Google+. You know, following a lot of social media influencers, giving a bit of a shout out to Dustin Stout. He was the one that I noticed was using large images on Google+, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. So, you know, it was just sort of, oh, I like what he's doing. He's getting a lot of engagement on his Google Plus posts, plus on his blogging posts. So for me, it was just a, you know, sort of, I see what he's doing, so I'm going to copy that. And, you know, I've had great results with it.
Terrific. So I'm going to just meander through, actually, a little bit here. I wasn't expecting to be asking all the questions on this survey, but anybody else wants to leap in with questions here. I wonder, Leila, if we could ask you to talk a little bit, please, about your experience with Google Plus and your business, and maybe say a bit about the business as well for people that may not know you.
Sure. I love my time on Google Plus. In fact, other than when I have to. I'm just not on Facebook at all anymore. It does have a learning curve, but one of the things that I truly love the best about Google Plus is the people that I get to meet and the incredible intelligence and business savvy that you find here that you don't find anywhere else. And so it is starting now. We had put our page up maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. We've been operating as profiles, and I can start to see a difference in my analytics, and things are starting to move along quite a bit. And so, and we're using Hangouts, private Hangouts, in our business also. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, people may not realize that you guys are actually doing dog training on Hangouts, aren't you? Behavioral change.
Yes, we are. We're working with dog owners when they have dogs that have behavior issues. Jim doesn't need to be in the home, and so we're starting to do that. We've got clients in the UK and Canada and all across the United States. It's fabulous. It will allow us to live wherever we want to live and still do business.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things for me, because if someone had said to me, you've got a dog training business, my immediate thought is that's a local business. You're just working in that local area. And when I started my current business, which is a sort of primarily LinkedIn training and consultancy, again, I thought, well, I'm going to be in my local area. And one of the things that Google Plus has done for me is it's really opened out my mindset. So currently I'm training people in Paris and Chicago.
Right.
And that has just completely opened up my horizons.
It does. If you kind of step back and think outside the box, you can use it for so many things. Online classes, it's just amazing what you can do with it. Membership sites that have Hangouts behind them, and I'm very excited about it. I didn't see this type of opportunity anywhere else.
How did you stumble across or think of using the Hangouts for the training? Because it's not necessarily an obvious thing, is it?
No, it's not. And I was thinking about that before I came on, trying to think, how did we stumble on this? I think I saw a Hangout. Someone sent me a Hangout or to look at a Hangout based on that app that Facebook uses, 22 Social, and which is an odd way to get there. But I saw Hangouts, and then I learned about Ronnie Bincer, and I saw how he uses them to educate people. And my mind just started whirling, and I thought, we can do this. And so it really is very easy, and there's so many ways to use Hangouts for business that are just so creative and very impressive because no one else does them.
Yeah. And I'd like to thank you as well for helping me with expanding my use of Hangouts, because
you're welcome.
I know that you use Hangouts with people who are not necessarily Google Plus users.
They are not Google Plus users, yeah.
Absolutely. Would you like to say a little bit about that? Because I think that's a really interesting development that you've done there.
Sure. We start everything over on the YouTube Live side, and when they call and they book the Hangouts, the requirement is just get a Gmail account. It's going to make everything easier. So prior to the Hangout, I'll do a quick little cheat Hangout with them just so they're comfortable. But basically what we do is we have them have their Gmail open about 5 minutes before the Hangout is going to start. We email them the Google link, the Hangout link. They click on it, and they're in. We just make it super simple. And we've had one person have difficulty because she was on a Mac. But everybody else just pops right up, and there's this massive look of surprise when the camera comes on and there's Jim there. So we just make it very easy for them, and they really like it. They love the fact that they get the YouTube video after the Hangout is over, so they can replay everything we talked about, which I can't give them when we go into their home to do dog training. So that added bonus is huge for them.
I have to say it worked really well when I tried it for the first time last week.
Good.
And so it was, really thank you for that, and encourage other people to use that technique as well.
Sure.
So, and I want to come back to you in a little while and talk about the monetizing of Hangouts, because I know you've been doing some work on private Hangouts, which I think is really interesting.
Correct.
Let's just include Anna in the conversation here. I'm wondering if the coffee's had an effect yet, Anna?
It's kicking in.
Good, good.
I'm on my espresso cup number 6. You know, you'd think that I'd be awake by now, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just listening to Leila, and I thought that this is an amazing example of how you take something new and different, something that off the top of your head does not sound like it would fit your business. Yet, that's the point about being a business owner, is being creative, using new platforms, new strategies to fit your business. And I love it, Leila, how you did it with your dog business and how you utilize Hangouts. So kudos to you. Let's see. You know, for me, I think Google Plus has a huge advantage in making, and you know, the ladies before me already said, the tight connections in relationships. And the way I would describe it is, you know, like in life you have acquaintances and you have friends, right? So on all other networks, social media networks, for me, people that I meet are acquaintances. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's hard to get to know someone in 140 characters, right? So you know of them, you share tweets, maybe you share a phrase or two, but you really can't get to know them. Google Plus does things so differently that you get to know people, and then you can't help but go look at their business, look at their websites, look at what they're about, because you already have that built-in connection. So it's a natural kind of extension of that connection. And also another thing that is very important to remember is that Google Plus really lets us be everywhere, which is a very mystical concept that a lot of marketers have a hard time achieving. You know, we all know that it's very beneficial to our business being everywhere. We just don't know how to do it. And Google Plus in many ways does just that. And I'll give you a couple of examples. For instance, almost on a daily basis, I get comments from people who find my Google Plus posts in Google search. Granted, that's because they're using personalized search and they're connected with me in some way on Google Plus. But let's face it, everybody uses personalized search these days because you pretty much stay logged into Google products in one shape or form or another. It's just, that's the way it is. So when that happens, you know, and your name and your photo, which is very important, even though Google did away with Google authorship and we don't have the pretty pictures in the search results any longer, we still have them for Google Plus. So your Google Plus posts will send out in somebody's stream, and they will come back to your posts and hopefully follow to your site as well. So it's really very powerful beyond just the microcosm of Google Plus. And another thing is that a lot of times people ask me, why do you get connected with people, with all the same people throughout all the social networks, you know? So if I know Greg Cooper on Google Plus, why would I want to get, you know, connected with him on Twitter? Because wouldn't we be sharing the same information basically? But the thing is that Greg Cooper might have a completely different audience on Twitter as he does on Google Plus. So if I'm connected with him, he likes the information that I share, chances are he'll share it with his Twitter followers, and all of a sudden it opens up communication with a whole different audience. And so that's the power of it. You know, you start with one relationship on Google Plus, you just kind of watch it. It's like a tree, you know, growing in all kinds of directions. You know, when it's young, it's just one stem basically, and then it gets all the branches and it just goes all over the place. That's sort of what Google Plus has been for my business, and that's what I've seen other people do with their business and how they took advantage of Google Plus as well.
And was there a moment when you thought, yes, Google Plus, this is the platform I'm going to concentrate on, and what was it that made you realize that?
You know, like Carrie-Anne, took me a while. It always does. You kind of have to, every new platform, you have to be ready to not like it because it's different, it's new. We don't like change. That's just the way it is, you know, we're people. So you have to stick with it till you get it, you know? So when I got it, I think was when I started connecting with people who I never connected with before. For instance, I think the kind of breaking point for me was Eric Anga of Stone Temple Consulting. Never saw the guy before, kind of, saw his articles pop in and out. And Google Plus was what brought us onto each other's radar. And we're friends now in real life beyond Google Plus, which is incredible. So I think once I started building those kind of relationships that actually made a difference to me personally is when I got it.
Cool. Good, great. So I'm going to go back to Carrie-Anne for a little while. Thank you, Anna. And Carrie-Anne, would you like to be the questioner for a few moments? Putting you on the spot there.
I know you are. Thanks, Greg. Just to touch base on what Anna said. One thing, for me, there's three big platforms. There's Google Plus, there's Twitter, and there's Facebook. And like Anna said, you've got 140 characters to sit and try and make a connection with someone. That's a bit of a barrier right there. For me, the barrier on Facebook is that not only is it it's a private platform, you have to have an account in order to see anybody's posts, and you have to be friends with somebody in order to see their posts. And for me, I know that people are more unlikely to friend somebody on Facebook, whereas with Google Plus, you circle somebody on Google Plus and immediately they circle you back. It's just so wide open, and the opportunities to grow your business on Google Plus are much larger, I find, than on Facebook, simply because people seem to be more receptive on Google Plus. They want to get to know, who's behind that picture. So as far as questions go, Greg, I know that you mentioned, you combine LinkedIn with Google Plus. Do you find that the platform that there's a big difference between Google Plus and LinkedIn? Is there?
Yeah, there's absolutely a huge difference between the two. LinkedIn is, in my opinion, a little bit like a 1990s CRM system. It's clunky, it's disconnected. But everybody knows how to use it, and the big pluses of something like of LinkedIn are the search capabilities and just the wealth of data that's there, and the fact it's structured. But it's a completely different experience on Google Plus. It's a much more social experience. It's much more enjoyable. It's a much more elegant platform. So I find I use the two platforms together.
Do you find with your clients, what type of businesses do your clients have that they would use for LinkedIn? I had a question the other day. Actually, somebody contacted me, and they were, saying something along the lines, it's mostly for professionals, and yet I've seen life coaches using LinkedIn. I've seen bloggers using LinkedIn. So what's been your experience with that?
I get a lot of coaches coming, all sorts of businesses actually. I get financial consultants, I get bankers, I had a magician come on a course recently, I get hypnotists. Currently I'm working with a company that does localization, and they work with US companies who are selling to Europe. So what they do is they localize the websites for them, do all the translation, and set up all the social media activity for them. So it's a complete range, really.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, we're just going to hop on over to Mary because we have a couple shout-outs that we'd like to do. So Mary, do you want to take over on that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. And Anna, it's really nice to meet you. So that's going to be my first shout-out. Anna has an awesome post on the Google's mobile-friendly website. It's super detailed, and I popped it in I will pop it in the thread on the show. You can watch that later, but if you want to know everything about mobile and where that algorithm's going, you should read this post because it's awesome. And my shout outs for the PYB Pro community. In level 1, we have Jeffrey Tobian. He's just super, super great as a level 1, and he shares a lot of our posts, and we really appreciate his participation in the community. Matt Pentecost is a pretty new person to level 2, but he's flying through. He's just He's super excited about Google Plus, and he sees it and what it does for his local and his own business. Sheila Hensley, Sheila's been around a while, and she's just awesome. I just talked to her the other day in a hangout. We had a great time. So you need to meet her. And level 4, I'm going to give a shout out to Carrie, because Carrie's been awesome in helping cover some of the PYB stuff with Martin being gone for 2 weeks. So those are my shout outs. And Travis, of course, and all of you. I love all of you, so you're awesome people. That's all I have to say.
Okay, it looks like we had a comment there from William Rock saying fantastic conversation. Glad that you guys are enjoying this. Anna, do you have anything that you want to add? You know, I mean, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time too, so this is an extreme delight for me being able to do a hangout with you. I follow you religiously on Google Plus. You're one of the people that's in my notification circle, so I love everything that you share. What do you think has been the biggest impact for you on Google Plus?
First of all, thank you so much, Carrie-Anne. I'm truly honored and flattered that you would say that. But you know, the amazing thing about Google Plus, and again, you know, I kind of said that before, is that I see such a huge diversity of businesses that are utilizing Google Plus to their advantage, which basically, you know, if you're watching this video and you're on the fence, this is sort of should be a wake-up call, because these people are there. They've been there for years. I mean, I know chiropractors, accountants, attorneys, of course, you know, Chef Dennis is there, you know, Dennis Lidley. So all kinds of professions come to Google Plus because it does work for their local businesses. So just because you're a local business, don't think that this is not for you, because it is. And behind Google Plus, you have to remember, Google is behind Google Plus. So if you want to show up in local searches or you know, just generally in Google, Google Plus is a tremendous platform to support your SEO for your website as well. So don't discard it is what I'm trying to say. And you know, my rule of thumb when starting with any platform is to give it at least 30 days before you say, it doesn't work for my business. Because if you're there in and out, and by giving it a shot, I mean be there, learn everything you can know about it, connect with people, see if you can kind of insert yourself in that in Google Plus and how things work. And then after 30 days, 60 even better, then you can declare whether it works for your business or not. Because we see that all the time. People say, Google Plus just does not work. Well, those are the people who kind of lurk behind the scenes, maybe leave a comment or two, or better yet, they just do link vomit, as I call it. You know, they just share their own links. And then surprised that nobody wants to read them or share them or, you know, plus one them. So it just doesn't work that way on any platform, and especially Google Plus, because as we all agree very strongly, it is about relationships. So sort of that's where you need to spend your time. And the end result of building relationships is leverage. You know, when you write, you know, for bloggers, for instance, that's an easy example. You write a blog post, and again, you know, you can write a blog post whether you're an online marketer or a chiropractor in San Diego or an attorney in Phoenix. You know, you still write a blog post, and then you leverage the network that you have built on Google Plus to let them share it. And once Google sees that people like this, you know, people like this blog post, it must be good and on the topic, and all of a sudden they give you a pump in search engine results, right? Who will say no to that? So, but again, it does take time. So I just want to encourage you to stick with it, and it will pay off whatever business you're in.
Yeah, and you know, I just really want to reiterate what Anna said there. I know for me, it probably took me a good 3 months of inserting myself into conversations, and you can't be shy. You really, really can't be shy if you sort of do the link vomit, as Anna so eloquently put it, people aren't going to notice you. Yeah, you have to insert yourself into conversations, and you have to provide value to those conversations. And yeah, it definitely takes time. Leila, I had a question for you that I actually wanted to ask you about your business, and you may have already touched on that. Now, I know that you said that you don't use Facebook, but did you start out using Facebook at all? And
we still use it.
Okay.
I just personally am not, other than going and posting on our page. Me personally, I'm very rarely on Facebook anymore, but that's where we started, is on Facebook, as everybody did. I don't even think I knew about Google Plus, probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. So yes, but it doesn't. On Facebook, even on our page, it's a constant conversation with people I already know, and so we just, we kind of, it seems redundant to me a lot of times.
Do you find that Facebook tends to be more localized for you, and whereas Google Plus has opened it up
very
internationally?
Localized for us,
Okay.
yes, because
Yes.
my page is set up as a local page, because that's what we are. So yes, it's very localized for us. But now we're going to start doing a show, and I'm definitely going to, bring them over so they can watch the shows. But yes, it's extremely localized. It's not anywhere else.
Okay. And just, have you noticed anybody transition yet from being a follower for you on Facebook and moving over onto Google Plus?
We have had some clients, some people on Facebook that what we have done the private Hangouts with, but they themselves have not chosen to come over to Google Plus. A lot of those are, for our clients, they're not really business people. They're stay-at-home moms. So I don't see them coming over per se until I think they start seeing us do the Hangouts. They might change their minds. But right now, they're not coming over.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to hand it back over to Greg to see if he has any closing comments or any closing thoughts there. Greg?
Well, I would just like to go back to Leila for a moment to ask her about those private Hangouts that you've managed to monetize successfully, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about that for a couple of minutes.
Sure. It's really quite easy to monetize once they understand how it works, and we have a page on our website that has some examples. But it's, the price is not the same as going into their home. It's less expensive, which is nice to them. But once they understand what it is, and then they hear about getting the YouTube video, they're all in. So the way that we do it is we will set up a series of Hangouts. We will book them on our calendar, just like we do with our in-home lessons. We get prepaid when they book. So we get a credit card and we prepay it. They get a receipt, they get a contract, and they show up at the designated times, and it just flows beautifully. It's so easy. No traffic to fight, and we're getting ready to do some online classes on certain dog behaviors and put that behind a membership site. So I'm just thrilled with what Google Plus has opened up for us.
And these are private Hangouts launched from YouTube.
They are
yeah.
Right. Yeah, with our clients, they are private. That is correct. They're not an open Hangout. They're private.
Okay. May I jump in with a question real quick there? I was curious, how do you go about advertising for that? Do you go outside of Google Plus to advertise, or are most of your clients coming through Google Plus in regards to that, or is it through Facebook? I'm just curious.
It's basically, well, we have a whole page on our website about it, and it's listed under our services, but mostly I end up selling it, because even with what we do in-home, they call, I talk with them, free evaluation, and I guide them to what would be best. Sometimes for people it's a matter of economics. More times with Hangouts it's because either they don't live here or their problem is severe enough, but I don't have any opening on Jim's schedule to get to them, but we can do those at night when he gets home. So it's a lot of it's word of mouth, a lot of it's they just call me and I sell it that way.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So does anyone from the panel have anything to add or any more questions? Because we're getting close to the time now. I know that Travis, though he doesn't have to go to bed, he probably has to go and get a cup of coffee. No? Okay. Yeah, he's got his coffee. Oh, right. Okay, okay.
Let's go with, we got one more from, I think this is always a good one. Here's one more from the audience. So do others see a fear over Google Plus versus social networks, or is it still a ghost town? Anybody on the panel want to answer that?
I mean, the perfect answer is we're here, right? We know better than that. And headlines sell. Even if people don't believe them, they just, you know, it's one of those things. So, no, I don't think that any one of us for a second believes that this is true. And let me put it this way, even if by some, you know, very far-fetched event in the future, Google Plus will be no more, we can use it right now for our business because nothing in our business is guaranteed. We cannot count on Google, we cannot count on Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is that you're getting your traffic from right now. Tomorrow it might disappear. So every time we use third-party platform, it's what we can get out of it today. So today, Google Plus works great for local businesses. I absolutely loved how Leila uses it. It's absolutely brilliant. So it works today. Use it today, and don't worry about tomorrow so much.
And my experience is that, you know, certainly in the UK, there's a lot of interest in Google Plus right now, and it's rising all the time. Okay, so I think we might be just about done. I'd like to say big thank you to Anna Hoffman, to Carrie-Anne Foster, to Leila Martin, to Mary Stovall, and of course to our behind-the-scenes man, Travis Taylor. Not always behind the scenes, but thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.